Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody.
Oh, yeah, you know it. I'm back. It's the Ralph's Opinion Show with me, Ralph Williams. Yeah, what do you want to talk about? And let me talk to you today. My name is Ralph Williams. I am the host of the Ralph's Opinion Show. Every Wednesday, we're back, 7:30 p.m., right here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, X, and the Kick platforms. Also, I wanted to let you know I am the revolutionary. I am the visionary. I am Ralph Williams, and it's great to be here today, part of RW Media Productions, and that's where we're brought to you in part by as well. And don't forget the QR code at the top of the screen. Also, your comments are welcome as always, based on the topics at hand and nothing else at this point, okay? So I made that pretty clear to you tonight here that and it's great to be back here with the Ralph's Opinions. We got a lot to talk about. Ted Turner, the Iran war, the good, the bad, and the ugly of President Trump. We also have to talk about Medicare. I got something for you about Medicare that you're going to be very interested in tonight as well. Also, announcements to make, a whole bunch of stuff going on with RW Media Productions, as well as what's going on with my other colleagues, Pensman Sports and Brian Pettit, and also some changes and some things that are going on in the in RW Media Productions that haven't been around. It's great to be back here for the Ralph's Opinion Show, and we don't have to worry about bleeding into somebody else's network or someone complaining because they lost viewers or subscribers or whatever it is that they lost, blaming it on me because it's my fault about my show and all that stuff. And those of you who heard that or know about that, you're wrong. That never happened, okay? I got credible evidence that never happened, all right? That was just made up by somebody because they didn't want me around, and that's fine. I get it, okay? So, but I'm here. I'm back. It's the Ralph's Opinion Show. Call your friend, call your cousin, call somebody, get them here, get them tuning in to the Ralph's Opinion Show. We're going to talk about Spirit Airlines, too. That's another thing. And earlier today on my Philadelphia show, the Ralph Williams Show, in the city of brotherly love, who gives me some great brotherly love every Wednesday, okay? On the Ralph's Opinion Show, I had Seth Kaplan. And Seth is a reporter, prominent reporter for Harrisburg TV station 27, ABC. He's on a lot of podcasts. He's on national TV broadcasts and a whole bunch of other stuff all across the country. And what he does is he talks about the, different financial things and whatnot. He also talks about different things that are going on in the country and the world. And I got to tell you, it was great having him on today. And on 860 AM WWDB in Philadelphia every Wednesday, 3 to 4 p.m., the Ralph Williams Show. Seth and I talked about the fallout, the demise, the closing, the shutdown of Spirit Airlines. Now, those of you who don't know, Spirit Airlines was a discount airline. You could go from, let's say, Latrobe Airport in Latrobe, PA, which is outside of Pittsburgh, where the Steelers practice at St. Vincent College for training camp, okay? And their airport solely relied on Spirit. They were the only airport that Spirit serviced that solely relied on the of Spirit being there. Okay, because at one point, Atlantic City's airport in Atlantic City, New Jersey, it was nothing but um, there was nothing but Spirit there too. But they went out and they got some other airlines flying in and out of there. They had some other things going on because I had been there to Atlantic City. I have flown there on Spirit Airlines, whether it was from Pittsburgh International, Latrobe Airport, or whatever. Back when my first wife and I used to always go to Atlantic City. She's up with the Lord right now. So, but anyway, okay. And Spirit, it was to us a good airline. They gave us snacks. They took care of us. They were nice people. That was back in the early 2000s. All right, Spirit's been around for a long time. They were at Arnold Palmer Regional Airport for almost 25 years. And I got to tell you, they were the backbone, and the economy out there were 30 people had a job there. The airport was, in fact, they expanded the airport for Spirit Airlines and to bring in other airlines as well. The problem with Latrobe Airport was they dropped the ball. And I'm going to talk about this on Saturday on my Ralph Williams show in Pittsburgh on 1250 AM, The Answer, 92.5 on the FM dial. I'm going to be talking about that as well. All right. All right. Have I been thinking? Yeah, I'm always thinking. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, I'm always thinking. Just want to let you know that as well. But thank you for your comment. I am always thinking. That is for sure. You know it. There we go. All right. Have you been thinking? Have you been drinking? No, I'm not drinking. I don't drink. What the hell are you talking about, man? I don't drink at all. How you doing, Pensman? There's Pensman Sports. Don't forget to tune into his stuff as well. On during the week, he puts out some really good shorts in regards to the Yankees, the Penguins, a whole lot of stuff going on there. There's his banner, Pensman Sports. Don't forget to tune into him. Like and subscribe to all of our YouTube channels and also to our Facebook pages. I'm on social media. I'm on Rumble. I'm on Getter. I'm on Blue Sky. I'm on Facebook. I'm on YouTube. I'm on X. So I'm on a lot of social media platforms. So don't forget to look around, tune in, subscribe, like, follow, whatever you have to do as well. Spirit Airlines. So Latrobe dropped the ball. They were so concerned about their expansion. They were in between directors. One guy was leaving. The other one just, came in. And they forgot about getting another airline in there. Now they have to scramble. And from what I understand, they are in talks with, and I'm also on TikTok as well. Yeah, thank you for reminding me of that. And Instagram. All right. So here we are. So Latrobe Airport dropped, but Atlantic City's airport, and I got to compliment them for this because I tell you, right now, okay, the reason I'm complimenting them is because their director, Tim Kroll, had, which I tried to get on my Philly show, and he was unable to, but he might come on tomorrow, or I'm sorry, Saturday, on my show in Pittsburgh. I'm thinking about having him come on, and he's going to talk about what they did. They were ahead of the ball game here. They were ahead of the 8 ball. And what they did was they had already negotiated a situation with Breeze to bring Breeze in to Atlantic City Airport, where Latrobe dropped the ball because they were in between directors and worrying about the expansion. This should have been done a while back, and now Latrobe is going to suffer because 30 jobs are lost. That's number one. Number two, might not seem like a lot, but for Latrobe, yes. Or Latrobe, or however you want to pronounce it, okay? All right? That's a lot. That's a lot of jobs for that community. And those folks have been there 20 years since Spirit showed up. So a lot of them were there a long time. All right? And now they have to go look for work. Or unless this other airline that they're talking to, I heard they're talking to Breeze. They may be talking to that Avilo. Steph talked about that. They're in Wilmington, Delaware. Okay. They're in their airport. They're in some other airports on the East Coast. So maybe they might be getting involved. Okay. Frontier's out there. Allegiant's out there. Allegiant flies to some small airports. So what I'm saying is it's possible that Latrobe could resurrect itself, but they dropped the ball. They missed the train, however you want to put it. And I'm not saying that they're wrong, but it's just that they were more focused on the air, and they knew what was going on with Spirit, because Spirit had cut flights out of Latrobe several times. They were going from one flight to Orlando up to 5-6 flights and then down again and up and down. It was going up and down like a roller coaster. All right. And that was going on for a while. So for that to happen, all right, that's exactly the case. Okay. So I think they should talk to Delta. Well, that could happen too. Erie has United back. They got Breeze now flying out of there. They only had one flight from American Airlines going to Charlotte and coming back, or 2 flights or something like that. All right. Even Erie has gotten into the game a little bit. All right. There's a small aircraft that flies around Pittsburgh International. They go to Johnstown, Altoon's Airport. They go to Bradford Airport. They go to Warren Airport, Warren County Airport. They go to all these little airports all around that whole area there. And they go to Wilkes-Barre, Scranton. So why not Johnstown? So why not go to, Latrobe or some of these other places? Okay. All right. Why not go to Erie? I mean, expand a little bit there as well. All right. There's a lot of good for expansion for this, but Spirit Airlines out of business. They did it. There's a lot of people to blame here. And don't you dare blame President Trump, because President Trump offered them an opportunity and they turned it down. Who turns down money? All right. When you go to the bank to get a loan, you don't like the parameters of the loan. So what do? You just don't get the loan, right? Yes, thank you very much. Hit the like and subscribe button. Help me get to 2,500. All right. Which for some strange reason, Pensman and I and Brian Pettit, we seem to struggle with this. I don't understand what the problem is, So I don't know. Maybe I got to do my shows naked or something to get 1 million people. Who knows? Maybe I might try that one of these days, because there are people that do that and they get all kinds of viewers and subscribers. All right. But anyway, don't forget the QR code at the top too. All right. To tune into the show. But there's a lot to blame. Spirit shareholders, they turned down this $500 million that the government was willing to give them because they didn't want to follow the parameters of things. All right. Pick your nose. Yeah, that might work too. You know what, Pensman? Speaking of that, I might not only just pick my nose, I might get up and pick my butt too. That might be another good thing that might help out. Yes, absolutely, Pensman. You know it. All right. So the shareholders are to blame for this because they turned down this agreement with the government. The government wanted 90%. Now this is what I understand. The government wanted the 90% share, and they wanted to kind of run the airline. Okay? The shareholders didn't want that. They wanted the money, but they didn't want to have to pay it back. Because if the government runs it and the government takes their share, then that means the government gets their money back. You see what I'm saying? So that's the whole purpose of the thing was, okay, we'll give you the money, but we're not just going to hand it to you like they handed the banks and the credit card companies back in 2008, which caused the real estate thing to go, caused the banks to go, and then they ended up giving them money. And what did they do for the consumer? Absolutely nothing. So from now on, when the government gives out stuff, which Barack Obama even said, if I was to give you something, you're paying it back. Okay? Barack Obama made that statement, you're paying it back. And that's the truth, because that's what has to happen, because what ends up happening is people end up, giving it to their executives. They went on exotic vacations, these banks, and everything else, which was unfair. It was unfair to the consumer. They did absolutely zero for the consumer. Nothing. Not one thing. And they took the money and they ran. And, I got to give credit to Ford Motor Company, because at the time Ford said, we don't want your money. We'll work on our own. They knew what was there. You see what I'm getting at? That's why you think they make fun of GM. They call it government motors. And there's reasons for that, because of exactly what I just told you. All right. Okay, so and then also the government will dictate what Spirit needs to do, and I think the shareholders didn't want that. They would rather go for bankrupt, or rather would shut down than take what the government was giving them. And you know what? That's backwards thinking. That's wrong. All right, 17,000. At first it was 13,000. Now I heard it's up to 17,000 airplane jobs that are gone. Between flight attendants, pilots, people who clean airplanes. I don't know. Some airports hire private contractors to do the flagging out there with the ones with the little flashlights with the orange thing on them. Yeah. They stand there with a vest on. Yeah. All right. I know at Pittsburgh International, it's a private contractor. I'm not exactly sure what they do at the other airports. All right. Maybe the same. I don't know. Everybody, we live in a monkey see, monkey do society, which means when someone does something, everybody else copycats it and everything else. That's what business does. Okay. We should know that by now. All right. Joe Biden is to blame. In 2022, Frontier, JetBlue both put bids in for Spirit. Okay. Joe Biden turned both of them down. In fact, there was going to be it was going to be Frontier, it was going to be JetBlue, and it was going to be Spirit Airlines. They were all going to get together and merge. And guess who turned it down? Joe Biden. Just like he didn't care about Nippon Steel. He didn't care about the steel industry. He didn't care about any of that other stuff that was going on. All right. All right. Brian Pettit's joining us here on the comment section here. Get my mouse down here. There we go. All right, there he is. Hey, Brian, how are you? Brian has a new media company now called Sports Break Media. And I'm going to put the banner up here in a second. There it is. There's Brian. Sports Break Media. Don't forget to join Brian Pensman, Sports and I, and Leo Haggerty every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. for the Saturday Sports Show. All right. We're here on our YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, X, and the Kick Network as well. All right. Spirit Airlines. What happened? Also, we have mailbag, Ralph Williams 737 at gmail.com. And maybe if you behave yourselves, I might work on having a live call-in thing here going on. But you got to behave yourselves. I don't want no knuckleheads. I don't want no meatheads. I don't want nobody that don't have a life. I don't want nobody to get mad at me because I call our society lazy, which is the truth. Okay? Bottom line. All right? All right. Let's move on. Let's move on to Ted Turner. Sad to hear today that Ted Turner passed away. Ted Turner was a broadcasting mecca. The man had TNT, TBS, CNN. He was the one who brought WCW, bought it, and put it on the air. He was the one that competed against Vince McMahon and wasn't afraid to and go up against the WWE. And at one point, they were beating them in the ratings in the 90s, which led the WWE to go into a situation where they had to really step it up and do the Attitude Era. All right. All right. Pensman is behaving. He's asking everybody else to behave. Okay? All right? I don't care if you disagree with me. That's fine. I understand that. But don't come on here talking about things that you shouldn't be talking about, okay? Stay off the air. I don't have time for you. I really don't. And I know I'm going to get some of these people on here that are upset because of comments I made earlier, but that's too bad. I'm tired of it. I'm not putting up with it anymore. Okay? What happened between me and that guy, it's over. But I don't have to worry about my show bleeding into the network, and I don't have to hear whining and crying that somebody lost subscribers and somebody lost viewers because of my political opinions. It's that simple, all right? You don't like what I have to say? Too bad. You know I'm right. I speak my mind. That is correct, Pensman. And you know I'm right. And you know what I say is the truth, because I don't speak nothing else on here but the truth. There's a saying out there called the truth will set you free. The truth has set me free. Look at where I am in radio now. Okay. I'm focused on radio. I have some shows here on social media. I'm doing shorts with the Ralph Report, working with Pensman, working with Brian Pettit and the Sports Break Sports Network. All right. Working with some other guys, Amped Up Sports, Draft Nation. Okay. Fan First Sports Network. Working with a lot of people. All right. I still have a variety of friends and people that I can work with, and I don't have the time to play around with drama. All right. So just to let everyone know that as well before I get all these emails and all this other stuff that's going on. All right. I don't want to hear it. I want to know about it. I don't care. All right. Topics at hand tonight. Ted Turner. Sad to hear. And as I mentioned earlier, he was the one who brought WCW wrestling to the pinnacle of where it was back in the 90s and the early 2000s. The worst thing he did was when he sold it in 1999, 2002, around 2001, I believe it was, maybe even 2003. He sold it to the Warner, Time Warner. Time Warner didn't want nothing to do with wrestling. They wanted nothing at all to do with it. Watch the show or the documentary, The Rise and Fall of WCW. And it will explain to you everything about what happened with, they had a big rise. I mean, they were beating WWE. They had Vince McMahon on his heels. They had WWE on their heels. WWE actually had to do some serious thinking. WWE hired Vince Russo. Russo screwed everything up with WCW and TNA. All right. Yes, the baseball stadium was named after him, Pensman. Thank you. Turner Field, the Atlanta Braves. Ted Turner was a mega man. He was the type of guy who went out there. He had business. He's like President Trump. He's out there. He has business. He has different ventures of things going on in his life. And everything he touched turned to gold. All right. He was married to Jane Fonda. Jane Fonda, I don't know much about Jane Fonda other than the fact that she's Henry Fonda's daughter. Okay. All right. All right. Let's move on here. That's Ralph's opinion today on Ted Turner. Sad to hear him go. Great guy. May rest in peace. My condolences to his family. All right. All right. I've been gone for weeks, focusing on the NFL draft, working with my friends Pensman Sports and Brian Pettit. Excuse me. Some things didn't work out right. That happens, you know. And when you're in this position of broadcasting, things happen. I didn't get what I wanted. I wanted all 32 teams. I was close. I think I got about 25 teams, maybe. Something like that. I was only off a few. Not even that. All right. But I was off. There were days I had to cancel shows. Things happen, you know, so but it's not going to happen again. And you learn from your mistakes, as they always say. But let's move on. Let's talk about Medicare real quick. Then we'll get into the Iran war. Gas prices. Everybody's great about gas prices. All right. We're going to talk about, and I'm working for this Saturday's Ralph's Opinion show in Pittsburgh. I'm working on getting Tim Kroll on from the Atlantic City International Airport. In fact, I'm going to reach out to him as soon as I'm done here before I go on the air with Luther Dupree, Claudia Rosano, Smoking Jim Frazier, Big Rome, and Phil Moore for the Steel City Sports World show on Facebook and YouTube. That's coming up at 9 o'clock. Steel City Sports World. We got a lot to talk about tonight. I want to thank Luther Dupree for putting my picture and everything else on there. It's great. Thank you, Luther. All right. Sports Corner Radio Show 2 times in Pittsburgh. Ralph Williams Show 3 times in Pittsburgh. Once in Philly. We're also in the Delmarva area, too, with the Ralph Williams Show. I'm moving up in radio. Radio is becoming the thing for me. And real soon, I'm going to be on in some other outlets all across the country. Everyone's going to know who Ralph Williams is. Like Cheers says, and there we go, where everybody knows your name. Everybody's going to know my name. Okay, that's the way it's going to be. Because I am the revolutionary. I am the visionary. I am Ralph Williams. Yeah. What do you want to talk about? Let me talk to you. All right. Medicare. It's so bad right now that UPMC, which is one of the best medical systems in the entire world, is talking about closing up 2 hospitals because of Medicare. Now, I'm going to tell you a little story here. I'm diabetic. I'm entitled to 1 pair of shoes per year, diabetic shoes, special made shoes with special inserts and everything else. My insurance company pays for that, my medical insurance, okay, which is through Medicare. All right. As you know, those of you who don't, and you're new to the show, I'm handicapped. I'm in a wheelchair here. Okay. All right. And I went to my podiatrist, and I have to specifically go to him to get my toenails cut. I cannot do them myself. And I said, listen, I'm interested in some diabetic shoes. I'm entitled to 1 pair a year. He told me I had to make another appointment. He was too busy. So I made another appointment. Went to see him. He tried the shoes on. We didn't fit them. He measured me up. He said, look, this is he gave me what I wanted. I picked what I wanted. Boom, boom, boom. He filled out the paperwork and everything. Comes over with this paper and he hands it to me and he says, you got to go down to your doctor and get this filled out. And I said, can't you fax it to my doctor? He said, no, you personally got to go down there. He has to personally fill it out in front of you. Then I have to personally take the paperwork and go back to his office and drop it off to him. And I have to hand it to him. I cannot do any faxing, any emailing, any scanning through the thing, anything to make my life easy. Medicare makes my life and your life, if you're on Medicare, hard. Okay. Why do they make it hard? Because I'm going to explain why they make it hard. When you got stupid never takes a vacation, and we do that here just like we do on the Ralph Williams show, and we're going to start one on Sports Corner show, sports people that stupid never takes a vacation. Okay? And shame on you. Shame on the people in Florida a few years back who decided to rip off Medicare for over $500,000 or more dollars. Okay? And guess what it was about? Diabetic shoes. They took the shoes. They said that they needed the shoes. But they didn't give them to the patients, or they didn't give them to the people who needed them. They gave them to their friends that were not, and sold it to them. And Medicare paid for it. So they frauded Medicare. All right. And now who has to suffer? I do. You do if you're on Medicare. You have to suffer. And now Medicare is so bad right now that UPMC is talking about closing down 2 hospitals. Now, I have a suggestion for them, and I want you to tune into my Ralph Williams shows, and you'll see what the suggestion is. 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. on 93.5 The Beach, okay? All right, don't forget to tune into it. Here it is right here. 93.5 The Beach, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturday morning, and then 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. on AM 1250 The Answer, 92.5 on the FM dial in Pittsburgh, the Ralph Williams show. And I'll have the video I'll be playing shortly when we get to our announcement segment at the end. Okay? All right. Also, theanswerpgh.com and Google. Scroll down to Radio Stations USA. Click, and boom, you're on the air. All right? So then I get this message, a text message, and here's what I don't like about, and we're here in Studio 10 in Berlin, Maryland. I live outside Ocean City. Here's what I don't like about the medical system down here now, since they merged, Tidal Health and Atlantic General merged. They send you these threatening messages. Everybody does it, okay? You owe $80. You better pay. If you don't pay, you don't get your inserts or your shoes. We're going to tie it up. Got to pay. Well, how about sending me a text message saying, Ralph, you owe $80 because your insurance company only covers 50%. Can you please help us and pay? Instead of, no, you got to pay. Okay? So here's what I did. This is what I did. I was a first-time buyer. I bought some diabetic shoes off of a prominent company. and they were having discounts. And I always look for sales. That's what you have to do in this kind of thing. You got to look for sales. So I looked for a sale, and had a spring sale going on. And they were, spring liquidation or whatever they call it. And I bought some diabetic shoes for way less than what I would have paid that they would have billed Medicare. And guess what? I got free shipping. It's coming to my house. It'll be here in 2 days. And I got my shoes. Okay. I got my inserts. And I didn't pay $80. And I didn't need to listen to your little threatening messages or nothing to that effect. Okay. So here's what's happened. Medicare doesn't get billed. Now I save Medicare money, so Medicare should thank me for that. And because of those people in Florida, and stupid never takes a vacation here. All right. Okay. I sound off the alarm because stupid never takes a vacation. That they should have never did that because you caused me inconvenience. And it causes my other fellow handicappers that are in wheelchairs, senior citizens, and everybody else that's on Medicare all kinds of inconvenience because of that. And I know what you're going to say. Yeah, Ralph, it was the great, beautiful bill. Some of it, maybe. And you know why? Because of the $200 and some million in waste and fraud, okay, that happened in Medicare. You can thank some of these doctors who fraudulently put in claims that weren't right. So please don't you dare sit there and blame President Trump for the false Spirit Airlines and this deal with Medicare and the big beautiful bill. The big beautiful bill had to happen because of fraud and waste. And if you owned a company and you had $200 million shortfall, what would you do? But see, you don't think like that. I always tell people who think that, well, Ralph, this cop, he kind of did this, and this to my family. Well, let me ask you this. What did you do to that cop? Now, when I lived with my mom, my nieces would come down. They would say, Uncle Ralph, my late nephew's he's up with the Lord too. Okay. And she would say, or my niece would say about my late nephew, well, he punched me or he hit me. And I said, well, why did he hit you? What did you do to make him hit you? Oh, I didn't do anything. Well, you must have done something. All right. Okay. And I tell people to look at themselves in the mirror and think for a minute, because I know people who have laughed at me because of stuff that's happened to me. Well, what would happen if it happened to you? Do you think it would be funny? You think it's funny that Medicare has inconvenienced me? I'm a handicap and in a wheelchair. I need whatever I can to make things easy for me. No. Instead, you make it hard and harder and harder because of idiots like the people in Florida who decided to defraud Medicare for $500,000 or more. Because of that, I have to eat it. And it happens all the time. Okay? Downtown Pittsburgh, they're complaining because people are urinating everywhere. Well, the restaurants can't let people come into the bathrooms because they destroy their bathrooms. Okay? Look at yourself in the mirror first before you criticize somebody for something like that. Okay? I got ripped off at an Ocean City, Maryland hotel. They tried. They didn't succeed. Okay? That's right. I have a right to attack and go after the hotels after that nonsense. Okay? There's one hotel that treated me very well when I stayed down here, when I come down here to scout. But I'm not going to mention their name because they don't pay me. All right? It's that simple. Okay? But anyway, Medicare. I'm warning you. It's bad. So if you look, my mom just told me something. She said that she's never had to pay for something, and Medicare now is making her pay $200 for something. It was for something that she used to get for nothing years ago. Thank you. All you people out there who defrauded, and all you people out there who were on Medicare and you weren't supposed to be. You are the ones to blame for this. Don't you dare. Don't you dare blame President Trump and the big, beautiful bill. Maybe that might not have happened. Maybe the cuts in Medicare may not have happened if you didn't do that to screw everybody else. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, hey, wait a minute. If that would have happened to me, okay? But no, you don't do that. You'll sit there and flap your gums, but you won't, you don't take a look at that stuff. Okay? All right, let's talk about this Iran war. I get a lot of emails. People want my opinion on it. I'm going to give it to you right now because this is the show for it. Oh, wow. Oh, my. We got the criers out there today, boy. I tell you. You know what? A lot of people cry. And, I have towels here. I just bought a package of 50. What do they call them? Fabric towel or those types of towels you buy. And, they come to wash your car or whatever, or for, general ideas or whatever. Okay. And you have all those types of towels and you buy them and, so, and I have a whole bunch of them because sooner or later I'm going to have to go and get I'm going to have to go and get a what you call it, a whole bunch of towels. I really am, and the main reason for that is because everybody's crying. You need to carry a towel with you around so you don't cry the blues. I'm tired of hearing it. I don't want to hear it no more. Okay. All right. So there you go. All right. Let's get into. All right, here we go. I got something for all you people out there crying the blues about everything. I mean, I'm talking just really crying the blues. It's really amazing, isn't it? Really amazing how you just really cry about everything. No matter what it is you cry, you're not happy about anything. You don't want to go out and work. And I've been upset about that for many, many years. And you know that. Okay? You pretty much have an idea on that. Okay? I've been really upset with the fact that this country has gone down this far. Okay? That it's really gone to the point to where we have a situation like this that is just terrible in this country. Nobody wants to work. It's really bad. It's awful. It's awful. It's awful. It's awful. And that's just disgusting. It really is. Oh my. We're crying because Cleve Downs, he switched jerseys. Oh, he took from somebody else. Oh, oh my. Okay. All right. Let's get into the good, the bad, and the ugly of President Trump. All right. And we're going to talk about the Iran war a little bit. Well, that's probably one of the things that we really need to talk about today or tonight here on the Ralph's Opinion Show. Okay. I mean, it's horrible. It really is. Really bad. All right, here we go. The good, the bad, and the ugly of President Trump. All right, there it is. The good, the bad, and the ugly of President Trump. That's coming up. Let's get to this comment here from Pensman. It says, it'll be Chase. What's this here? Chose 8 or 30, 88 or 22. I would understand, but it doesn't make sense. Well, yeah, you're right. A lot of times when athletes pick numbers, it just doesn't make sense for their uniforms, and that is true. All right, let's go into the good, the bad, and the ugly of President Trump. The bad right now, the ugly is these gas prices. What's starting to look ugly right now is this Iran war. And the reason is because President Trump, I think, underestimated Iran. He said that he was going to blow them away. They're going to surrender. And look where we are. Now he's telling the American public that the war will be over within 2 weeks. He said that 2 weeks ago, and 2 weeks before that, and 2 weeks before that. Okay. I thought that maybe Iran would really surrender, but they're not. And the leader of Iran right now, which is the son of the Ayatollah Khomeini, who I don't know, I think he's like the 10th Ayatollah or whatever. All right, or they have maybe 15 of them. I have no idea. Whatever it is, they need to see Trojan Man. They need to do something. Okay. All right. Whatever it is. There's a growing tree of Ayatollah Khomeinis. But anyway, the current Ayatollah Khomeini, the son, he said that if America continues with this war, this could turn into a Vietnam, and I really hope it doesn't. And President Trump promised when he ran for president there was going to be no wars. All right. It says 2 weeks and a month. Let's get it together. Exactly, Bensman. Let's get this going. Let's get it together. Let's get this war over with. All right. You know, Iran, they want to do what they want to do. They don't care. But here's the part that really bothers me here. And this is a good part. And I like the comments that President Trump made in regards to NATO. When he was president the first time, he took us out of NATO because he saw where we were spending money helping NATO, but NATO did nothing for the United States. And now most of the NATO countries have all backed out. France, Germany, Britain, they're all, we can't get involved in that. You're picking on Iran. like in Pittsburgh, Ralph, you're picking on that Gaty, and he's picking on Bob War. No, he's just speaking the truth about Iran. And what I don't understand is how Iran, who's been such a tyrant to everybody in the Middle East, and nobody wants to help the United States take them out. Come on. Exactly. $4 a gallon. It's about I don't know, $4.30 something maybe down here in Maryland. All right. There's a couple places that's under that. If you got one of them little cards with the membership with the store or something like that, yeah. Okay. I don't worry about that. My tank is full all the time. All right. I don't go out much anyway. All right. I only go out when I have to or when I want to. I don't go out just to go out like everybody else does. Okay. All right. But that's me. It's a free country, like everyone tells me when I get on people who run around in sandals and it's 20 below zero. All right, it's a free country. I can dress and do whatever I want. Yeah, okay. Then when you get a cold, and you get a pneumonia, and you're in the hospital and you can't work, which you probably don't work anyway. All right, that kind of thing. Okay. I'm on a roll tonight, everybody. I'm back and I'm on a roll. And it's going to get better and better. I'm going to be more on a roll now than I ever was. Because you know what? When you piss me off and you open up a can of worms you can't close, that's what makes me what I'm doing now. And you know what? There's people out there that like this. They like this side of me. And I'm going to continue to do it. And if you don't like it, then don't tune in. It's that simple. And I know a lot of people who don't, but should. Because you should understand my logical reasons for a lot of things that I say here. All right. So anyway, let's get back to President Trump and the good, the bad, and the ugly. The ugly is this Iran war, the gas prices. The good thing is the stock market hasn't fallen apart. We had a couple bad days, but you know what? It's been kicking gas. Actually, the barrels of gas went down today. All right. Yeah, here it is. What brings you in? I wore flip-flops in 20 below zero temperatures. Doctor goes, makes sense. Exactly. Okay. That's fine. You want to catch a cold, you want to have pneumonia, whatever it is that goes with all that. That's fine. That's your business. Actually, I was only going to do this for a half hour tonight, but being that I'm back, we're doing it for an hour, and I have a lot to talk about. So sometimes, if I don't, the show will only be 30 minutes. Okay, I just want to let you know that tonight we're on for an hour because I have plenty to talk about. I mean, I'm kind of behind the eight ball here because I haven't been here for a few weeks. Okay, I shut it down, took a break. You know, sometimes you have to do that. What they call recharge the batteries, as Glenn Sherrick used to say with the former Little River Band lead singer. I wanted to recharge the batteries. Well, he recharged them and they kicked him out of the group because he wanted to recharge the batteries. Well, I'm my own group, so I want to recharge the batteries. So I just shut it down and recharge the batteries. All right. But like I said, the good, the bad, and the ugly of good, the stock market's fine. The bad is the gas prices, and the ugly is this Iran war right now. I mean, it's really killing us. Now, the tariffs are starting to make us money. And he gave the military a raise. That's good. Okay. President Trump has done some good things. He wants to do the ballroom, and everybody's moaning about that. But here's what he said that actually was true. If the ballroom would have been approved and fixed and put together, that shooting or that attempted assassination of President Trump would not have happened. They could have had that dinner at the White House. But the ballroom stinks. So you think about that for a minute. Think about it, you progressives. Think about it, Chuck Schumer. Think about it, Hakeem Jeffries. Think about it, what the heck's his name? The one from Vermont that's an independent that looks like a clown. I can't remember his name right now. All of a sudden, I got a brain fart. Can't remember his name. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's right. Those are the people you elected. But if that ballroom was fixed and that ballroom was available, that event would have been at the White House where it was a little more secure and nobody could have got in there and done that. Okay, they had to have it somewhere else because the ballroom's not adequately fit to have anything in there. And, I listen to my competition all the time up in Pittsburgh, and this one woman called up. She's already emailed me my show already, criticizing me for cracking or saying things about gay. Okay, I still get those emails. RalphWilliams737@gmail.com if you want to email me about anything. Okay. So, it's ridiculous. It really is. All right. All right. Let's talk about the Iran war here for a minute. The Gulf of Hormuz is open back up. Iran sort of agreed to a peace deal or some kind of an arrangement with the United States and whatever coalition forces, as they call it. We got Kuwait helping us. We got the United Arab Emirates. We've got Qatar or Kuwait or whatever they call that country. We got Saudi Arabia as usual. We got Israel. Now, the thing here that's really the problem with this peace accord is, and I don't blame Israel, because Israel, as I've said many times, is God's country. Okay, Israel is not backing down. They're going after Hezbollah. They're going after Iran. They want to demolish Iran. Let them do it. Let them do it. I'm for it. I'm for it. And if we go and invade Iran and help them get a government going, I'm for it. Okay? But my thing here is, and this is what I'm concerned about, we got out of Afghanistan and accomplished nothing. We left military weapons behind. Okay, and who knows what the Taliban might be doing with those weapons. They might be giving them to Iran. They might be giving them to some other country that Iraq, on the other hand, I guess they're surviving. Who knows? We still have bases in Iraq. All right, we've had to go back there many times to take out the the Houthis and all these other people. All right, ISIS and all that other stuff. Okay. All right, we've had to do that. All right, government's still tying up our government not only is tying up the war spending, but they're also opening up our government back up so people can get paid. All right, which to me Makes no sense at all. But of course, you tell that to Chuck Schumer. You tell that to Hakeem Jeffries. All right. And Bernie Sanders, that's his name. You say that to Bernie Sanders and all the progressives out there. All right. Yeah, they want you to have health care, but it's okay for everyone to just get out of jail and go around and shoot everybody again. Because that's what progressives do. All right, we got our Marines on islands in Iran. We've got special forces doing stuff. We've got our army out there. We've got these new weapons, old helicopters, stuff breaking down, pilots getting shot down. Let's end this. Let's get our guys home. Let's quit dealing with this. All right, let's start making which President Trump's trying to do, and we got these progressives that don't want it. He's trying to get manufacturing going in the United States again, which creates what? Jobs, which of course you don't want. Then you complain when the foreign people or immigrants that are legal now. Excuse me, wow, I just bumped into something here that are legal, okay, that want to work because you don't, and you get mad. You know, the American public, you can never satisfy. No matter what you try to do, you can never satisfy, and it's disgusting. And this is the worst. And I've said this many times. I'll say it again. It's the worst society I've ever seen. The worst. All right, the worst society I've ever seen. Nobody wants to work. Nobody cares. Nah, nobody cares at all. Nobody wants to work. All right, let's see what we got here. It says, you lack of intelligence on so many points in It's Hilarious. Oh, really? Is that so? Is that so, huh? I lack intelligence. I lack intelligence. What? You don't like the fact that I tell the truth? Is that exactly what you're saying? I'm telling you about what's going on with the war. It's all truthful. I told you just about Spirit Airlines. It's all truthful. I told you about society today. It's all truthful because there are lazy ass people out there that don't want to work, that don't want to put the Xbox down and get out and work to save our country. They don't want to do it. They won't do it. If you can't work because you have a disability like I do, fine. I don't have a problem with you. But I have a problem when you are a working person who can work and you'd rather sit home and scam old ladies and everybody else rather than go out and try to work and make an honest living, pay taxes, and contribute to Social Security. I did my share. But 35 years, I did my share. And I had to retire because of my health. 35 years of customer service. I did my share. Why don't everyone out there that's lazy do yours? Okay? Do yours. Because in this country today, we don't care. We don't care how we raise our kids that cause problems. We don't care. We don't care about whether or not we speed up the highway and cause an accident. It was a big 5-car pileup today because some moron in Pittsburgh decided to go speeding where the traffic is at. And then he ended up speeding so bad that his car ran out of control and went over the bridge and into the river. Okay? And he caused a 5-car pile or a 5-car pileup, and he caused the whole traffic jam to get worse than what it already is because of that. Because he didn't care. Because he didn't care. So don't sit here and tell me my lack of intelligence. I know what I'm talking about. Do you? You're upset with me because what they call opened up a can of worms. Because I'm telling the truth here and you don't like it. That's why. Okay? That's Ralph's opinion. All right? And if you think I lack in intelligence, you're wrong. You ask anybody out there. I'm one of the hardest working people in media. I'm on the radio all over the place. And I'm going to get bigger and better. And you are going to sit back here and play on your Xbox because I have a feeling that's what you do. And again, I don't have a problem with anyone that plays Xbox. But when you sit here and get mad at me because I'm calling you lazy when you know it's the truth and you don't look at yourself in the mirror, that's your own problem. Got it? I hope so. All right. Couple of announcements. Let's get into those. All right, this weekend, don't forget Saturday morning starting at 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., 93.5 The Beach, the Ralph Williams Show. Lots to talk about this week, and we'll be getting into a bunch of stuff. 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., 93.5 The Beach in the Delmarva area as well. 50,000-watt powerhouse. It's great to be there. I want to thank management and staff for letting me be there for that. All right, and that's on Saturday morning starting at 7 a.m. 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Here we go. Here's the video on this, and there it is. All right, working on some guests to be on. I'm working on the Allegheny Institute for Public Policy. They don't want minimum wage to be raised in the state of Pennsylvania. All right, and what a lot of people don't understand is it's in brackets. It goes from 11 to 12 in 2 years to 14 in 2 years, and then to 15 where it will max out. So any business that's open that doesn't want to raise the minimum wage, you're going to have trouble getting employees. It's a simple fact, because it's sad that West Virginia was ahead of Pennsylvania in minimum wage. Sad. Still $7.25 an hour. Sad. Okay. We'll talk about that and a whole lot more. We got a lot to talk about. Juveniles running all over Pittsburgh. We'll be talking about that as well. 12:50 a.m. The Answer, 92.5 on the FM dial, and theanswerpgh.com, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Saturday. And then also, don't forget, we have I can see it here. My eyesight's a little jacked up again today, but that's fine. All right, here we are, the Saturday Sports Show, every Saturday morning, 10 a.m., right here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, X, and the Kick Network. Here we are. All right, our guest this week is Mike Sisak, and I might even have another guest on, working on getting an NHL guy on to talk about the hockey playoffs this Saturday, the Saturday Sports Show with me, Ralph Williams, and Pensman Sports, Brian Pettit, and Leo Haggerty from Amped Up Sports, Brian Pettit from the Sports Beat Network there that he has going on. All right. Next, our third and final show of the day for Saturday. Well, at 2 to 3 p.m., the Sports Corner radio show on 12:50 a.m., 92.5 on the FM dial. And the answer, pgh.com. Ralph, with me, Ralph Williams, Smoking, Jim Frazier, Claudia Rosano, Luther Dupree. 9 o'clock, we're coming up. Still See Sports World. All four of us will be on there as well. All right, so don't forget to tune into that. Coming up at 9 o'clock tonight. All right, also, all right, Wednesdays, well, actually Monday, all right, Monday, here we are right here. If I can find the banner. I'm looking for it right now. I think I might have it. Let's see where we're at here. All right, here we go. There it is. Drive Time in Pittsburgh. That's right. The Ralph Williams Show every Monday, 2 to 3 p.m. on 620 KHB. All right. And then also on Wednesday, here we are. Ready for this? Here we go. It's a doubleheader of Ralph, the Ralph Williams Show here in Philly. There it is. And then 7:30 right here, Ralph's Opinion Show right here, 7:30, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, X, and the Kick Network. And don't forget, I'm also on Getter, and I'm also on the Rumble, and I'm also on Blue Sky, LinkedIn, and a whole bunch of other social media platforms as well. All right, also, don't forget about the Sports Corner radio show, the Friday version, Friday, 3 o'clock p.m., 620 KHB. Here we are. Sorry about that. That's Sunday at 8 o'clock. I even forgot about that. this Saturday Sunday, we have a lot to talk about, 8 o'clock. And then when the UFL season's over, Brian Pettit, Pensman Sports, and I, we're getting into a show called Anything Goes. We're going to talk about anything. We could talk about porn. We could talk anything. It's going to be anything goes. We're going to talk about anything, sports, whatever. Knuckleheads, boneheads, meatheads, whatever. All right. We got a lot to talk about as well. So just to let you know about that. All right. Maybe I don't know. No, wait. Still don't have it right. I don't even know. Here we go.
And here we go.
All right. That's not it. Here we go. Maybe this is it. There we go. Right, every Friday, Ralph Williams, Smoking Jim Frazier, Claudia was on Luther Dupree on 620 AM KHB. All right. Just to let everyone know that as well. So a lot going on in radio shows with me, Ralph Williams, and RW Media Productions. And don't forget to, every Saturday morning, the Saturday Sports Show, the UFL Weekly. We got a lot going on here. My shorts, all my Ralph reports, and all the other stuff that we are going. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Help us get to our goals. Pensman, help him get to his goal. Help Brian get to his goal, and help me get to my goals. All right. All right. I'm Ralph Williams. Thank you for participating in tonight's program. And, my intelligence level is actually pretty good there, but that's fine. All right. Say what you want. You're entitled to it. I don't care. I don't care what you say. I'm intelligent. I know what I'm talking about. It's too bad you don't. So you must not, because you said you're talking about my intelligence. What about yours? All right. Have yourself a great night. Until next week, don't forget 9 o'clock coming up, Steel City Sports World show. I'll be on there as well as a guest, along with Claudia Rosano, Luther Dupree, and Smoke, and Jim Frazier. Have a great one. Thank you. Please, by all means, be safe.